we go. It's now 6:55. The calling to order the a regular meeting of the Select Board on Monday, April the 11th. First thing on the agenda is rules of procedure. Those are on, you can read the rules of procedure on our website. They're not here available this evening for anyone to look at in paper form. I would like to just say 2 or 3 things about the rules of procedure. We've committed to saying a couple of things about these at each meeting, just so we're all kind of on the same wavelength. I think a thing that we need to say and just make sure that we're all clear about is that regular select board meetings are conducted, as it were, in the public. We're in front of a public here, which is wonderful. We're glad that you're all here. But it's also true that these meetings are not conducted for the public. The public does not own these meetings. The Select Board is doing the town's business, and in order to do the town's business, we need to have this regular Select Board meeting. So we're very happy to have you here. We have spaces for you to comment and move and be engaged, but the meeting really does belong to the Select Board. So I appreciate that. And it's also, I need to let you know that the chair is both in charge of setting the agenda for the meetings and is in charge of meeting decorum, which means that if we get less than decorous, you may hear from me at some point, and I'll ask for respect and civility as we move forward. We ask that if ever you speak at the meeting, and this is something I'll need help with, if you speak at a meeting, we ask you to state your name and the road on which you live. This is just so everyone can be involved in the meetings, both right now, people that are out paying attention online here as we let them in, and also folks that watch the recordings after this. Not everyone knows everyone in Guilford. So that's what we'd like to say about the rules of procedure for tonight. The third point on the agenda is what we call welcoming of public. And we welcome everyone that's here and welcome everyone that's on the computer, and more people will come on as we go along. We're very happy to have you here, and we thank you for your participation in our town's day-to-day operations. That's largely what the Select Board's about, and as well as its overall well-being. We are starting with a new idea this evening, which is called a community comment period. The Select Board looks forward to opening up this part of our agenda to the community. So I'll read quickly the rules that we're going to abide by for this part of the meeting, and then we have 3 people who will be speaking to the community. We ask anyone who'd like to speak on this, they need to sign up ahead of time, and that means for now you need to email me. We will set up a system, but with all the possible ways in which people could sign up, we need to get it so we know who's come first, who's come second on the list. We want to be fair about that. Probably right now the easiest way to do that, maybe the best way, is to have people just email me, which is what everyone did for this week. We'll get a full-blown practice set up as soon as we can. Names are going to be called in the order in which people signed up to speak. So if you're attending physically, and we have 3 speakers here tonight, we ask you to move toward the microphone, identify yourselves, say the name of your road. Anyone who speaks at these meetings going forward will be speaking to the town. The Select Board will be here witnessing what you say. We'll be witnessing those comments on behalf of the town. Of course, we ask for civility, and there will be no expectation for any response from the Select Board or anyone attending the meeting. Again, your comments are to be made to the town. In the time allowance that we have for this, which we're right now going to be allowing about 10 minutes, we plan to hear from 3 to 4 people, and we ask everyone to respect time. Since Vermont statutes give responsibility, I said this before, for the meeting decorum to the chair, I have, as chair, the right to ask any individual to finish speaking or to close this portion of the agenda at any moment. Okay? Those are just the rules that we'll generally play by. So tonight we have 3 speakers who have offered to and asked for time. And first we acknowledge Anna Klein.
Thank you.
So,
all right,
just a little bit forward. Yeah.
Okay. Should I see this microphone is so low.
That's good.
All right, I'm Anna Klein, East Mountain Road. I'm bringing up and want to start, spreading the word about this idea in town that I've been thinking about for a while. But, well, let me back up a little bit. Today was in Brattleboro, and I got a text from my neighbor saying that my sheep were loose in the neighborhood running down the road. And then I think about 5 neighbors stepped forward and were trying to wrangle the sheep or offering to come help wrangle the sheep because I wasn't there. And I guess I want to start with that just to say that that's what I love about this town, is that people care about each other and are looking out for each other, and that is the world I want my children to grow up in. That's the world I want to live in, and so I'm going to start with that. I'm a Guilford resident, obviously, and I care really deeply about this town. I've been here for 8 years. I grew up in New Hampshire, but Vermont feels like home, and Guilford absolutely feels like home. And over the past years, I've met so many people that are inspiring and caring and just wonderful. And this past 2 years has been hard, just personally, just, obviously for most people, but seeing what happened in our town, especially over the past 6 months, I guess I'll say, has been really hard for me to see, because I have friends on all sides, and I feel the frustrations. I feel that people feel disconnected, unheard, frustrated, angry, powerless. And so this idea that I've been thinking of for a while feels like this is the time. And folks will have to bear with me, it's a little bit undefined, and it's kind of undefined on purpose, because I want this to be something that's coming from the community and coming from everyone in the community. And I'm calling it Guilford Gathering, which is kind of an experiment in local direct citizen participation of the people, by the people, for the people. This is not related to our government. However, those that are part of our government are certainly welcome to participate as citizens. And it's not meant to be creating our own government or defying anything. It's really meant to be a place where we can dream and vision together about what we want in our town, what we hope for, and use that as a place to build on our common ground. So for this to be successful, I need people to join me and participate in any way that they can. And that means, it could mean just giving your opinion and coming to events, or it could mean helping me to plan now. And the first thing that I have in mind is to organize some in-person gatherings in different neighborhoods in town. Partly we haven't had town meeting in a couple of years, and I know that has a lot of value just in seeing our neighbors. But the purpose of these gatherings will be for people to really share their positive and hopeful ideas for what we want to see in the town. Our dreams may differ, and that it's not going to be a place for debate. It's not going to be a place for arguments. It's going to be a place for us to find those commonalities and grow those. So I don't want to ramble on too much. I could keep going for a long time.
Thank you.
But I want to share, folks, certainly I'm going to be starting to spread the word in, email and other various analog forms. But I don't know if it's on. Could you put this up on your screen?
If you hold it up right here.
Or here, is that? Is it going to be backwards?
No, I can read it.
Okay, so guilfordgathering@gmail.com. I just made an email address so that folks could just email me if you're interested in getting involved in this project. And I'm imagining we'd be starting to plan over the next month, and then in May and June we'll start having neighborhood gatherings.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Next in line is Don McLean.
Hi, Don McLean, Packer Corners Road, and I only really signed up for this because it was brand new and I thought nobody else would. And now I feel kind of foolish because these other great people have also signed up. So I had to come up with a topic, and something I've been thinking about a lot lately is housing. And I don't know a thing about housing except that I live in a house, but I was motivated to bring this up because over the past couple months I've had a lot of conversations with families, people I know who are looking for places to buy homes and can't afford to, and every time they find a place, 15 other people come swooping in and outbid them. And so I thought that was worth thinking about, and mostly I just like the idea of housing to get into our Guilford conversation. And I realize it's not exactly anybody's job to deal with this. I notice it's part of the town plan, which makes me think maybe it's something the Planning Commission might talk about. And a related topic is that we don't have housing specifically for seniors or any assisted living or similar facilities, as a lot of neighboring towns do. And I've always felt particularly that it's too bad when Guilford seniors, many of whom were born in town, lived here all their lives, can no longer live on their own or with family members, have to go to Brattleboro or Vernon or another town outside Guilford to assisted living or similar housing. There's been a lot in the national, state, and regional news lately about the housing shortage. Brattleboro, as you know, is working on it. In the last couple of days, there was a story about Putney, and in fact, there were people who were opposed to the proposed housing there. And just this morning's Reformer had a bit about Newfane getting going, talking about this. I know that Guilford Preservation, Inc. is beginning to talk about the possibility for their land in Algiers, and which is great, and hope to hear more about that soon. And that's really it. I just wanted to get that kind of into the cosmic agenda, and I'd like to thank you guys for coming up with the idea of this public comment component, which I'm pleased to have been part of tonight. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you very much. All right, next on the list is Jamie.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I am at Johnson Pasture Drive, and I'm here to plug Green Up Day.
Oh, yes.
So Green Up Day this year is Saturday, May 7th, and because the Brattleboro Community Center is still closed, where we used to have the dump trucks, we're going to have the dump trucks here at the town. And my husband Jethro and I are co-coordinating it. So one of us will be here all day, and we'll have the bags, and we'll have the vests, and we'll have the map. So if you want to sign up for a road, you can just come that day and sign up, or you can email me. And I made a greenupguilford@gmail.com. You can email me if you want to sign up for a road ahead of time.
Is that all lowercase?
greenupguilford@gmail.com. Yes. And I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but I might be. What's that, Saturday, May 7th, 8 to 5, in Guilford.
Those
It's
cute
the
kids will be there.
52nd year. They'll be there. They love it. We got into it because they love it. They love walking the roads in the bus and picking up trash. Picking up trash. Yeah.
I know I didn't ask to participate, however.
What's your name?
Sure, I'll be back.
Connie Burke, Weatherhead Hollow Road. In conjunction with her plug for Green Up Day.
Yeah.
The car wash will be holding a Green Up benefit, may I just, we'll be holding a Green Up benefit the week before, probably on the 29th of April. So if you're interested, we'll be publicizing it and everything, so.
Okay.
We always try to choose the best weather on that week, so we can get the most money, the most funds to donate. So I can't just say it's going to be on the 29th, but that's what we're trying for.
Okay, Connie, let me make sure I have this because I want to get it in the minutes and I'm not as fast as some people. So, the benefit will be on the closest good day to Green Up Day?
It's the week before.
Week before, and so maybe April 29th?
Friday, a Friday is April 29th, so we want to do it because we're usually busy on Friday morning, but if we're not going to be busy because it's rainy, then we'll make it earlier in the week. It'll be sometime, what would be the Monday?
And
So the week of the April 25 through 29, it'll be sometime that week.
25.
25, somewhere between the 25th and the 29th, and so will it be right at the car wash
Yes.
on Putney Road?
Yes, and we donate 100% of what we take in during
Whoa.
2 hours, and WTSA is there doing a remote, so everything will go towards Rena during
Okay.
that 2 hour period.
Thank
It's
you.
usually 11 to 1.
11 to 1?
All right, we need to move ahead then. Thank you all very much. Thank you for our first time out. I see Ann's hand is up, and
Just saying thank you to Jamie, Jethro, and Connie. I'm psyched to see new positive info in Green Up Day. That's awesome.
Okay, so once again, I want to respond to the folks that are online now on the Zoom. We had incredible technical difficulties here at our end. I'm very sorry that it was so difficult for everyone to get on. I will take personal responsibility for being much more on top of it than I was tonight, and hopefully we won't have this happen again. All right, it was just one mix-up after another. Thank you. So next on the agenda, are there any changes to the agenda order? I have one. I would like to make a statement for the minutes about the town administrator, and I'd like to do that under new business today. So I think that's okay. We need to approve the minutes of the previous select board meeting, March 28th. Could I have a motion to approve those? Richard, you did?
I move.
All right,
that the
thank you.
minute be accepted.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Rusty.
Well, I just wanted to say that I took the minutes of the last meeting and they might be a little non-standard. So if you're looking at the minutes and you have any corrections, those of you who are here, just send me a note and I'll improve them.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, I'll take a roll call. Richard?
Aye.
Aye. Michael?
Aye.
Rusty?
Aye.
Miranda?
Aye.
And Zahn says aye. Thank you. We also need to approve the minutes of the special board meeting held on April the 7th. May I have a motion to put those on the floor?
I so move.
Thank you.
And I'll second.
All right, so that's Richard moves and Rusty seconds. Is there any discussion about those minutes? All right. Okay, I'll take a roll call. Richard?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Rusty?
Aye.
Miranda?
Aye.
Zahn says aye. Thank you very much for that. All right, now we move to the section of our meeting called Updates and Discussions. And the first order of business is a highway report. Dan?
Hi, I'm Dan, live on Lock Cabin Drive. I have no more roads posted, we pulled them all last week. The roads are starting to dry up. The muds, we had a fairly easy mud season this year. So we're just out grading them, trying to get them smoothed up, so it takes time to get around, so. That's all we've been doing is grading roads and cleaning culverts and doing our normal routine.
Thank you very much, Dan. And bravo, bravo. I was on one of those roads today, and that's great. All right, then we will always have, in every meeting, we will have an update from one of our associated, either a commission or a committee or one of our associations that the select board has. And so tonight, we're gonna, I'm the representative to the DVFiber, and I just want to say two things very quickly, that negotiations between DVFiber and our partner, which is GWI, Great Works Internet, continues, as does engineering design for the entire 24 town district. And DVFiber is currently in a search for its first executive director. So that's undergoing right now, just to bring that up. Okay, let's move on then to old business. We need to certify the appointment of the Finance Advisory Committee. We just need to make sure that we're in shape for that. So I will move that the Select Board appoints to the Finance Committee Tim Harris for a 1-year remaining of a 3-year term, Lynn Pancake for 2 years of a 3-year term, Gordon Little for 2 years of a 3-year term, Sheila Morse for a 3-year term, and there is one 3-year term which is vacant. Could I have a second for that?
I second.
Okay, Rusty, we'll take Rusty on that one. Is there any discussion here at the select board?
Oh, I was thinking that if anybody who is here has the skills and interest to help out on the finance advisory committee, this would be a wonderful thing to get more people, you know, there's room for another person, and so. that would
And
be
if
good.
anyone is interested, please contact me, and I will forward the information to the right places and get it out. Okay, is there any, before we vote, is there any comment from the public on this particular issue? Seeing none, I will take, oh, okay. Sheila says no comment. So I'll take a roll call vote. Richard?
Aye.
All right, Michael?
Aye.
Rusty?
Aye.
Miranda?
Aye.
And Zahn says aye. I thank you very much. Then we move on to the ARPA Advisory Committee. This is ongoing work of the Select Board. We have two actions we'd like to take tonight. Just 1 second while I call this up here. Just got it ready. I could have done this earlier if I had known. Let's see where that plays. Patience, patience, patience. So the first order of business this evening will be, on this part of the agenda, will be to appoint two people from the Select Board to oversee the process that we're about to embark on, that we've already been taking, but now we're moving into a particular part of the ARPA process, and we need two Select Board members to oversee that process. And this is the operation of the selection process for the ARPA committee, recommending a slate to the committee, and then serving as liaison. In the past, Miranda and I have been doing this work, and I think we're both happy to do it if people are willing to that. So I would entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
I so move.
Okay, Michael, Richard, you willing to? A second. Okay, so the motion would be that Zahn and Veranda will oversee this portion of the ARPA process for the Select Board, operating a selection process of the ARPA committee, recommending a committee to the Select Board at its next meeting, and then serving as liaison to the committee for its work. So, is there any discussion from the community? Yes?
Dolores Clark and Cemetery Hill. Do you already have everybody picked out for the committee?
No, we don't. We have more than enough people at this point already interested. If people are, we had a deadline of April the 7th, I think, and we got more than enough people. If there are people that are still interested, we can certainly look at them.
What's your criteria for picking out?
I'm going to read that in just a second. Oh, the criteria for picking people for the
Indeed.
committee. Okay. The process for that is that we asked folks who are interested to submit to us 3 statements: what their interest is in the committee, what skills they bring to the committee, and what they would imagine they would be able to offer as part of that committee as we go forward to strengthen the work of the committee. I will be reading in a second what the actual charge, the next motion is to read the charge for the committee, and you'll hear what the committee will be doing, so it's sort of a matchup of those skills.
Zahn,
Yes.
if I may interrupt,
Say your name, please.
Lynn King. There are a lot of people that are trying to get on. Do you
Yes.
have a lot, do you see that on your computer?
No, not on, the problem is, we had technical difficulties. People are trying to get onto a meeting that we could not start. So we've started another meeting, and we've tried to alert as many people as we could. These people have somehow figured it out, but it's impossible. It happened all at the last moment. So I understand, it's horrible. but it's the worst we can, it's the best we can do right now.
Could you ask them how they figured it out so we
Yeah, I
could
have
send?
the
I got
number.
like 10 people that want to get on this.
Well, if
right
you
now.
do, then why, we invite people to go to the Guilford, Vermont Facebook page, and there's information there.
No,
Is that there? It's not there.
it didn't get approved by the moderator or whatever, yeah.
Of course.
So we have to do,
Well, how do these people figure it out?
people individually texted them or whatever, sent them messages.
Hi, Zach, you got texted, each of you? Okay. So, this is, so the next step, folks, is without the Guilford moderator helping us out at this moment, which would be reasonable, we ask you to individually text information to people. Okay.
Can we call out the info one more time? Is that helpful?
Because the people aren't on, so they can't get the info.
Okay, sorry. One step ahead of me.
And to tell everybody, would you please just, okay.
But no, but the people who are on don't need the information.
Correct,
It's the people who
correct.
can't get on.
Yeah, yeah.
But if there's new information, can't you put it on Facebook under Guilford?
We-
So people
We
can find
tried,
We
we
tried,
tried, the moderator
yeah.
has to accept it, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We
Stinks.
determined not to take extra time to start the meeting still later by trying to put it up on our town website. In the future, we may decide to do that. You know, we apologize immensely for this, and, but it's just, we're all, you'll understand in a moment when I speak about Peter's health, what's going on here. I hope you will. So let's go back to the, thank you, Lynn, for that. Let's go back to the motion that's in front of us. Is there any further comment about the idea that Zahn and Veranda would serve as the overseers for the current ARPA, portion of the ARPA process? Any comments from the committee? Okay, seeing none, I will take a vote. Richard?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Rusty?
Aye.
Veranda?
Aye.
Zahn says aye. Okay. Then I propose that we need to have a charge for this committee, so it will have will have its work to do. And I would like to, in order to make that motion, I've been advised that I need to read this charge fully to you. So you'll need to just, it's about 3 paragraphs. So if you don't mind, I will take a moment to read that. And this is what we're proposing that this ARPA committee will do for us. The purpose of the ARPA Advisory Committee is to advise the Guilford Select Board about a list of projects and/or investments for which federal ARPA funds should be committed. The ARPA Advisory Committee shall gather community input, developing intake and review processes to determine best uses for ARPA funds, all in keeping with federal guidelines as well as the best interest of the entire community. The specific goals of the community's work: to ensure that the committee is guided by available community resources, which include previously submitted grant proposals for community investment, the 2022 draft town plan, Finance Advisory Committee meetings in October 2021, the 2013 Vermont Council on Rural Development community visit, community support materials developed by the Vermont League of Cities and Towns, and appropriate regional planning documents. 2, to gather and review community needs and assessments. 3, to develop a communications strategy that provides opportunity to gather input from the entire community and to identify new and ongoing needs of the community. The preferred timeline for this, the community's recommendations are due to the Select Board by Wednesday. I'm going to just adjust this right now to June 29th. Because we have to put out, when we thought we would be able to appoint this evening, we had June 15th as a date. So June 29th would be the new date there for that. So I would like, is there a motion for this, to adopt this charge? Veranda, thank you. Is there a second? Michael? Thank you. Is there any discussion in the community before we adopt it? Okay.
I mean, our goal in doing this is to receive everybody's best ideas, and it will be up to the advisory committee to work out the best way to gather this information.
Yes, and I think I also would just like to point out one more time that it is ultimately the, not to take away from any of the charge here or anything, but by federal mandate, it is the ultimate decision of the select board how these monies are to be spent. Our intent would be to take, of course, the recommendation of the committee, but we will have to review everything the ARPA committee says against the federal guidelines and make sure that everything fits well. So that will be something, a final stage for us. All right, so, okay, 2 people are here to get into the, oops, where'd they go?
At the top,
2 people here. I see that, I don't see it here on the computer anymore though.
What they were on,
Oh, there's Julie. Julie B, okay. All right, I think we're gonna make it.
and did you see Kitsy was?
I don't see her.
I did see her briefly.
We were testing it.
I was gonna say, she's right there.
Oh, I see.
Toot Kitsy.
A lot of people did, so we just wanted to test
Yeah,
it.
I'm trying to like text
So,
people.
I've already forgotten where we
Yeah.
are, so do we just approve that?
Yes,
Okay, the charge, okay.
yes, and that will be posted, the charge will be posted.
Okay, we're moving on to new town business. So this is the portion of the agenda where we finished with stuff that we've seen before. This is all stuff that's new to us this time. And I'd like to start this portion of the new business by making for the public and for the record a report about our town administrator. We learned on the weekend, we learned that our town administrator, Peter Root, has a diagnosis that's quite severe, a form of cancer. It will require him to go under chemo. It's treatable, according to his doctor. It will require him to go under chemo for several months at the first round. He will not be able to be with us at all for at least a week, and then after that, depending on how his health is advancing, he may be able to work very part-time for the town. He will need to work, according to his doctor, under 100% at home for the next foreseeable future, not just the next few weeks, but perhaps as much as 3 or 4 months. To give him the strength, his immune system has been compromised severely by the testing and the disease. So you should know that the select board is reviewing all of this and considering everything. We are in touch with Peter. We're also, as Miranda said before the meeting, we're working hard to figure out how it is that we're going to move forward. We have volunteers from our community that have stepped forward to offer to help us where there are places to be helped. We're very grateful for that. Richard and I have been authorized to look at Peter's job description and figure out what's the best way to sort everything out in the community. So we'll do the best we can. Obviously, you saw this evening, we're not doing so great here at the start, but we're learning, and I think we'll probably have it down in a little while. So we will need to ask for the community's patience here, and we will greatly appreciate whichever patience and grace you're able to afford us as we move forward. We are here to serve you, and we are here to serve the town of Guilford, but we don't have a town administrator working full force for some time. So there you have it. All right. The second point of new business is that we need to appoint Kelsey Allan to the Recreation Commission. The select board had an opportunity to look at that recommendation is coming from the Recreation Commission. We had an opportunity to look at her resume.
She's an environmental educator. I'm the liaison to the Rec Commission, and we're really excited to have her.
So may I have a motion to that effect? Thank you, Brandon.
I'll second.
Rusty, thank you. And I'll take a vote. Richard?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Rusty?
Aye.
Miranda?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Multitasking.
Yeah, multitasking, or not, right? So whether we're, and Zon says aye. Okay, thank you very much. All right. Now, in the new business, we move on to the approved draft town plan. First of all, I want to say, let's see, here comes, we are admitting someone here. I want to, on behalf of so many people in this community, the select board wants to thank everyone involved in the movement of this plan to this point. And so I want to just explain a little bit about our process going forward so everyone understands. And if there are any questions, then Jeanette Tokars, the chair of the Planning Commission, is here to help us talk a little bit about some next steps. The select board, now that the select board has received the draft of the town plan from the Planning Commission, it's our responsibility, the select board needs to conduct a public hearing after 30 days after the receipt of the plan, or before 120 days. So we have a 90-day period in which we can conduct a public hearing. That means that we need to set a date somewhere between May 4th and August 2nd in order to move this forward. That public meeting must be warned. The community will be warned about that meeting 2 weeks prior to the meeting, minimum. It could be more than that. A mitigating factor in all of this is that the Guilford Center Village designation is due at the state by May 1st. There's no way that we can get all this done, the plan and everything done by May 1st. The state allows us to supply a 90-day grace period. So that means that we have until, what is that, would be like August 1st.
Breaking news.
Oh.
Jeanette Tokars, Bullock. I found out today that in order to have the Village Center renewal application move through the process completely, we have to have a town plan in place.
In order for it to start.
Correct. And it also, the town plan has to be approved by the Wyndham Regional Commission. From the time that they receive the adopted town plan from the select board, they have 2 months in order to do that. And I was speaking to my contact at the Wyndham Regional Commission today, is that it typically takes them 2 months. So if we can't really delay that much longer in terms of holding the select board holding the hearing, because if we do that, we're going to end up having the Wyndham Regional Commission become our bottleneck.
Okay.
And not be able to have a town plan adopted by August 1st. So if we go beyond August 1st, we have to restart with a completely new application for Village Center designation.
Okay. So let me ask you a question then, Jeanette. Thank you for that information. If we were to hold the public meeting on May 4th, could we get inside the boundaries that you're talking about?
Because if we hold it on May 4th, give it to Wyndham Regional, as soon as the select board holds a meeting to adopt it, then you have 2 months from that. So that would put us somewhere into early to mid-July. So I haven't breathed very much today since I found this out, so I hope we can find time on the schedule to move this forward.
Okay, so the earliest that we could have the meeting would be May the 4th. There would be a select board meeting, there would be a select board meeting on May the 9th.
Okay.
And so
that would give us some leeway.
All right.
Yeah.
So how's the select board feel about the idea that what Jeanette is proposing is that we would have a public town meeting a public hearing, thank you, to review and look at the draft proposed town plan on Wednesday, May the 4th. Could we tentatively schedule that and make sure that everything, and check it with everything?
I don't need to check my calendar.
Point of information's on, does the select board approve the plan first and then it goes to the town? No, it goes to the town and then.
Yeah, so the process is that it has come from the Planning Commission. The select board accepts the submission.
No, it's
And
accepted.
then we put that in front of the town for any further considerations that the town would like to make. Then we have a period in which we can either adopt it or make non-substantive changes to the plan.
Got it, thank you.
Zach, could you check the waiting room one more time?
It's not, I know it says that people are saying that there's someone here, but I don't see it, and it's not in the participant list. So, yeah, thank you. So, any comments from the community?
I have a question, it's not a comment.
Does it relate to this?
To the town plan.
Okay.
Yes, just
Could
wondering.
you speak to the
what-
microphone, please?
Lynn, could you
what the
step,
board-
You wanna
Lynn,
come
could you
in
step
with
forward?
some,
Yeah, I should have asked Jeanette.
Oh, take my seat. Hi, I'm just here to verify that the 4 names that wanted to be removed have been removed.
As I told you in
Yes,
emails,
but-
I would be forwarding that forward, and I don't know the stance
Yeah,
of it.
so Allan has written communication from individuals on the prior plan commission who requested that their name be removed. I have done that. So what I would like to do is, I would like to put up the town plan on the website. There's a few additions, changing the names of the members of who wish to no longer have their name attached, adding a paragraph about some historical information, have that available. As soon as we can get that up, there's some technical difficulties getting things onto the website, but we can fix that. So we would have a long period of time for families, also have, of course, printed out copies available, but hope to have as much time as possible before the hearing for people to be able to review it either online or in person.
Okay, so it's confirmed that those names have been removed.
Everything that, well, you say 4 names, I'm only, I'm following the precedent that you set of looking for written confirmation.
Well, that's why, so there was 3, so I'm here, Mrs. Gaines is here.
Yes.
And Chuck does not have a computer, and I.
Could you speak to the microphone, please?
Yes, here, I don't want my back to Jeanette. So, I'm just stating, Jeanette, that Lynn King, I'm here. Jackie Gaines is here. Chuck Clark isn't, but he has, I have sent an email for him, and I've provided his phone number. So he wants to not be stated.
All right.
And Harry Evans also, the last time, I don't know if he's written, but again,
And not to my knowledge, anything from Harry. I did try to email him.
because he requested here at our last meeting. So I'm just trying to be helpful.
Thank
and,
you. Thank
A
you.
lot of it is just because it's, it's changed hands, so it shouldn't even really be much of a question, I think. In all respect, new folks are on and we are not with the plan. So, and Harry did say that, and I'm not sure what you need to do, but in all due respect, he's
Yes, we understand.
requested
Yes,
the
thank
same
you.
thing.
Thank you.
I think Mrs. Clark has a
Chuck does get texts, but do not believe he gets emails.
Yeah, I sent everything they need for him.
And Chuck came to my house today.
I told you the same thing.
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help.
Thank you for the update, and I'll make those
And
changes.
Mr. Evans as well. How often, right, I don't know how often. but in all
I had an
fairness, he
email
stated
address
the
to
same
try to
thing.
reach him and didn't hear back, so it's useful to know that it's challenging, so,
Okay,
thanks. All right,
thank you very
appreciate
much.
that
Thank you,
update.
Lynn. All right, so can we set the date for May 4th?
I need to double check my calendar when I get home, but I can get back to you tonight.
Can we select it as?
Tentatively, yeah.
Can we put it down, and aim for a quorum at least
Yep.
at the select board? Richard, okay? All right, so could I have a motion to that effect, please? May 4th. Veranda.
Second.
And Richard seconds, all right? Is there any further discussion from the community? Yes.
Dolores Clark again.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to figure out how, if you have a problem or a question about what's in the town plan, you can only do that at that meeting? Or
No.
how does that?
No. So you could email either Zon or myself directly. There is one little nuance, is that up until 15 days before the hearing, you can make some changes, but then it almost gets frozen for 15 days before the meeting up until the hearing, and then at the hearing you could make changes. So we're in a window right now where there could be changes made, and then there's a frozen period, and then there could be changes, or there could be suggestions made at the hearing, and then they could potentially be adopted by the select board. It's a really bizarre process. So, but no, it's not at this point a document that couldn't be adjusted. However, if, Zahn used the word substantive, if there are substantive changes made, the process has to reset to 0. So it's been my aspiration to not make any substantive changes. And remember, we had a public hearing about this. You were there, it was in depth, fairly extensive. Then we talked about it again at the planning commission meeting. There'll be another public hearing. So we'll have multiple opportunities to have a look at this. But I haven't gotten the sense that there's significant changes that have been proposed.
Well, I just have one thing about it, and I can't seem to get any answer about how it got in, about a feasibility study for a sewer and water district for Guilford Center and Weatherhead Hollow Road. And I'm just wondering, because anybody I talked to on the previous planning commission said they weren't on board for that, but it was somehow put in there in between times. And then when you guys got on the commission, it was there. And I just want to know why it's in there and who put it in. And I can't seem to get an answer about why that would even be in there to put a sewer district in the center of Guilford Center. Why something like that is in there.
As I understand it, thank you, Dolores. I don't think that there's a question of whether or not there would be a sewer in the middle of Guilford. That's not part of the plan. The question is to look at the idea of whether or not it even makes sense. It's like 2 or 3 steps removed from that. So it's not an attempt to, and I'm not against it or in favor of it necessarily. I'm just talking about process here. And I think that I might suggest, I don't know who you've spoken with on the planning commission. I know this issue has come up repeatedly and in the various conversations that I've heard, and yet it continues to remain part of the plan. So I don't know where I can't speak to that.
So Dolores, would you like me to try to find that out for you?
I would like to know, and I would like to know why you would even have a feasibility study. It's like having a feasibility study for a helicopter landing in town, or a rocket launch, It's like, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Well, I'll tell you, Dolores, I will personally look into that information and let you know, and I'll also put it on, whatever I find out, I'll put on Front Porch Forum so that everybody can see.
It's a why that is in there.
I will try to excavate that information and post it on Front Porch Forum.
Thank you.
And just, is Front Porch Forum a reasonable place for people to read about this? Because that's what I use. I don't use Facebook, but people okay on Front Porch Forum?
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting back to order here. And the select board's going to take a vote on whether or not to hold this public hearing on May the 4th. Richard?
Yes.
Michael?
Aye.
Rusty?
Aye.
Miranda?
Aye.
And Zahn says aye. Thank you very much. Good, sturdy discussions, folks. Anytime anybody has any questions about any aspect of the town's moving or town's governing, please either contact the chair of the appropriate commission or write to me. I'm happy to begin addressing issues. Nothing should remain out in the community unanswered, if at all possible. There are times when we cannot know the answer immediately. I certainly have lots to learn. I'm glad to be learning. But we also need the community to speak to every one of us to help the information come forward so we're addressing it at all times. Yes, Connie?
Connie Burton again. How do we get the information that tells us how to contact you?
My name is on the website, and my email is right there.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, is that the same with Jeanette?
I'm happy to have my name, my email address on the website.
I think it's, I don't, what I understand is, and we'll have to look and see, you could ask me for that information, I'd be glad to forward it to anyone. I think we don't publicize all of the commission members' names, because many of those emails are private emails that are used. And so we don't publicize private emails. All right, we'll move on, please, to the next order of business, which, oh, sorry, Lynn.
I would like to just say before we, just a brief, Dolores did ask the same question at the last meeting. And I know you're setting a date for early May, right, for this May 4th to kind of be accepted and go through. But I'm wondering how can we have May 4th as a date if there are still some unanswered questions?
Those questions need to come forward, and
They
it's
have.
coming, no, excuse me, need to come forward now to the select board. So far, the questions have all gone to the planning commissions, both the earlier one and the current planning commission. If your questions persist, bring them to the select board and we'll do what we can to answer those questions.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be doing it with guidance from the current planning commission, of course, but please address us. We'd like to
Okay,
keep
thanks
these
for that
conversations
clarification.
going.
Could you consider this a question to the select board now, what I asked?
I'd prefer it if you do it in writing, because I will forget.
I won't forget.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Giselle. Thank you very much.
Dolores, I have
there?
notebook paper.
I'll email you.
Thanks very much, Dolores. All right. Folks, let's move on now to the next order of business, which is a petition which has come to the town for reconsideration of vote on the town meeting Article 7. The community voted on March the 1st on Article 7. The vote spread was 15 votes, and by statute, anytime any vote is taken in the state of Vermont that community members feel needs to be looked at again, a petition can be submitted. That's what's happened here, totally within the bounds. It also states that in order for the petition to stand, the petition has to contain 5% of the voting public on the petition. This petition far exceeds that. The normal in Vermont, the 5% number would be 85 voters needed to have signed this petition. This petition was signed by, I believe when the final tally was done, 141 people.
150.
I think when the final tally was done, yeah, I think it was
150.
when it was confirmed by the, but it's in that range. It's certainly more than 85, and that's fine. I want you all to know and understand, please, everyone on the call, that the select board is in contact with the Vermont League of Cities and Towns to learn all the necessary guidelines in order to move through this process. This is the first time that I think any of us have encountered this, and we are we're getting lots of good, strong help from them. A new vote on Article 7 must be held within 60 days of receipt of the petition. That is, because the 60 days falls on a weekend, on or before Friday, May 27th. The process must run, when we conduct a vote, this is just information, the process must run exactly or nearly similarly to the March 1st vote. In other words, there would be an Australian ballot, the exact same language is produced for the ballot, and all virtual pre-vote public hearing must be conducted within 10 days of that vote. The town is responsible for conducting a pre-vote informational hearing, which we will do. That means that we would be holding, the select board would be convening a meeting sometime between May 17th and May 27th in order to, for the community to address this. There may be many other ways in which the community can also address this issue. I've seen discussions already out in community boards. That's great. There may be meetings that are called in order for us to all learn more about this. That's all great. The select board will not be involved in those processes. The warning period for this vote, if it were to be held on, let's say Tuesday, May 24th, because our elections commonly are on May 24th, needs to happen 30 to 40 days in front of that. In other words, very soon. So my question to the select board is, are we willing to select Tuesday, Tuesday, May 24th, as the date for this new vote. I have spoken with Penny, Penny Marine, who is in charge of elections for the town. We've talked through the initial details about this process, so she's aware of it and knows it's coming and what would be required of her. All right, so
I have a question.
yes.
So-
First, let's have a motion to put it on
Oh,
the floor, and then we'll open it for discussion.
Okay,
So
I'll move there.
Tuesday, May 24th is a date for the revote. May I have a second?
A second.
Rusty,
I second.
Thank you. All right, now, before we go on, Veranda, discussion.
Okay, just trying to get
Yep.
movements and seconds. So if we're going to have the vote on May 24th, then how much before that do we have to have, does the select board have to host a public hearing or information session?
Within 10 days prior to that. So anytime from May 17th to May 27th.
Okay,
Oh, no, it would be May 14th, I adjust that now.
May
Because
14th,
if we choose May
okay.
24th
Right,
as our new date, then it would be between May 14th and May 24th.
I have a question.
Yes, Richard.
The statute states that a majority vote in favor of reconsideration or rescission of a question voted on by paper or Australian ballot shall not be effective unless the number of votes cast in favor of reconsideration or rescission exceeds 2/3 of the number of votes cast for the prevailing side of the original meeting, unless the voters of the municipality approve a different percentage pursuant to the following. And so there's a possibility that, what the statute says, and I'm just interpreting here, is that it has to be 2/3, what I just said, of the number of votes cast for the prevailing vote. But the town can change that number if it wants to. So my question is do we need to have two meetings, or two votes, one to change the percentage if that's what the town wants, and then one to vote on the rescission or not to rescind.
Okay, let me understand, Richard. So what I think you're saying is that in order for us to even consider voting, as it were, we need to have approval from the town through a vote that equals 2/3 or more of the previous winning number.
Only if the town wants to change that number, is the way I read the statute.
So you're suggesting that we are bound to have two votes here?
No.
Okay, only if we want to, so we would, the select board would make the decision, or we would move to have that number change and then put that to the town if we wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm not inclined to do that. That's my feeling, but we should see what people think. Is there a
No,
discussion?
I'm not inclined either, but I thought it's something that we should be aware of.
Good, thank you. All right, good, thank you. Michael, do you have a feeling about that?
Whether to hold the 2/3? Yeah, I'm not inclined to change that.
Okay.
No, I don't want to change
All right, Rusty. Yeah, okay. No changing there, okay.
I have a question.
Yeah,
And could you check the waiting room one more time?
I did, yeah.
Just want to make sure we get our bases covered.
You got Rick in there.
Okay, I'll give it up now. I don't want to make this any more complicated than necessary, but I guess I feel the need to ask the question, is absentee voting?
The voting will go exactly like it did
Okay, so-
in the March 1st, so there will be absentee voting available.
And in fact, I also,
State your name, please.
oh, it's Don McLean, Packer Corners Road.
Thank you.
I love looking at VSA. In fact, it's interesting that the town must send absentee ballots to all of those voters who requested absentee ballots last time, whether they asked for them this time or not. Isn't that
Wow,
interesting?
I'm not even sure we keep records, I don't know.
Oh, well,
Okay,
Penny
so-
Penny would know that.
All right, so can you make a note?
I just
of
thought that was kind of fascinating.
That's how we make sure that you do that, I'm just.
And it's-
sorry, I'm on it.
Fascinating and slightly
Yeah,
weird.
it makes sense though, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's, the advice I got was that this vote needs to, for all intents and purposes, it needs to be an exact.
It has to be exact.
Overlay of
Yes,
the previous
yes,
vote, so
that's
that the
right.
other one can just be undone if we need
Yeah.
it, yes.
Yeah.
Philip?
Could I suggest that perhaps some community outreach? There's a lot of people that don't know that there was actually a petition to vote on this, and you can't really count on Front Porch Forum. Is there any way, like, you know, you could send out a little mailer that says this is what's gonna happen and this is what's going on to the town?
So you're, if we move forward with this vote, you're asking, would the town identify, send out a mailer, for instance, to all voters to make sure that people know that this is happening?
Sooner than later.
Well, probably, yes, that's part of the warning. I imagine what we would do, just similar to what was done for March 1st, that is, we wouldn't be announcing, it cannot be the select board's position to present this in any way other than that it is a vote to happen.
That's
We
all
would
right.
we probably would present a public informational meeting date with information about when there would also be a vote on this. So our job is to provide an opportunity for public information. And we would get so people could ask questions and all that kind of thing. And that would be that's our job. And then the vote would take place after that. We can get that out, I think. It's a way of saying yes.
Yeah, I'm not asking the select board to take a stance one way or another, but
course
there's a
not.
lot of people that don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty major thing that people should know, and you can't really count on just the
Absolutely.
internet.
Absolutely.
Or
Yeah,
whatever.
Brenda?
Oh, it's actually, I'm addressing everybody. Do you think, perhaps, putting a message in the Reformer and the Commons, would reach people?
Brenda, I have an answer to that.
Oh, okay.
And again, because of the nature of this, because it's a revote, this part is not the same as what happened before, but we are bound by statute. It's all laid out, and we would follow it about when this needs to be warned in our newspaper of record, which is the Brattleboro Reformer. We would likely also put it in the Commons just because we try to do that, but when things are timely, the Commons can't always meet our needs because it only comes out once a week. But with some planning, we should be able to get this done. Yeah. Yes.
An
Jennifer?
estimate of how much this will cost the town to run another election?
I don't know the answer to that. No. Yes.
Cynthia Clark on Clark Drive. Just an FYI, if the postage is more than one stamp, can the envelope say additional postage needed?
Oh, I see. Okay, we'll bear that in mind. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. We might likely, I don't know what we've done in the past, but I imagine we'll use a postal service so that it wouldn't be about stamps, but I don't know. And we'll check into that and see, make sure that we
Not the
don't.
return.
In other words, we don't want anything returned accidentally, yes.
It'd probably be a much smaller thing this time since it's just one article.
It's one piece of paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that was an issue last time. I don't think he understood.
Any further comment? There's Ann Ryder.
I'm trying to understand, I got a little confused with what Richard read about what warrants a revote. I know there's been a lot of recounting, but a revote is pretty new to us. And I was trying to understand, Richard, what you were saying in juxtaposition to Zan, what you had said about getting the 141 signatures, so that, is there going to be a revote, or how, Richard, could you explain what you were?
Oh, yes, there has to be a revote because the petition had the number of, way over the amount needed to ask for it. I was just pointing out that if the revote is to overturn the original vote, it has to do it by over a 2/3 majority of what the original vote was.
I see, thank you, I understand now, I appreciate that.
Thank you. This is hard work, folks. Thank you all. Appreciate this very much. We'll get through it. All right, is there any further comment or any questions about this revote? All right. I will take a roll call vote. The motion is to conduct a recall vote on May 24th, Tuesday, May 24th, with all the appropriate notifications, warnings, and public hearings prior. Richard?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Rusty?
Aye.
Miranda?
Aye.
And Zon says aye. Okay, we're getting there, folks. Hang in there. All right, now the next thing on our agenda is a request for a bit of time from Jason Herron about a Public Records Act request. Hi.
Hi, I'm Jason Herron, Lake Ridge Road. I was here last select board meeting looking for some documents, the disclosure statements from all the select board members from 2018. You promised me you were gonna look into that, so I'm here, that's my first question is, where are we at on that?
We have not been able to do a single thing because Peter has been ill, out of the office for 3 weeks. We have no access to those public records.
Okay.
At this point, or we may have access, I don't know whether we do or not. I have not been able to talk, in this 3 weeks, I have not been able to talk to Peter for more than 45 minutes in the last 3 weeks. So I'm sorry, but your question, as much as I'd like to be able to answer it, has not been the highest priority for the select board's work.
For future document requests, who gets them?
I do.
Okay, so I've got 2 document requests here. I'd like to re-ask that one.
Okay, thank you.
And then I have this other one here. I'd like all the invoices and/or payments for legal advice the select board received for services rendered from August 12th, 2019 to September 9th, 2019, and from February 1st, 2022 to April 11th, 2022. Please also disclose dates and topics of any meetings with an attorney and any select board member where an invoice or receipt may not have been issued to date for services already rendered from February 1st, 2022 to April 11th, 2022.
Okay, thank you. We'll take those under
Thank you so much.
advisement, Jason. We will do the best we can.
Okay, yeah, there's some
Realize that we-
statutes with that. There's some state
Statutes, there are 10
statutes with
days
that.
response.
Well, yeah, 10 days if it's exceptional. You have to have an excuse for 10 days. You have 3 days to get out for those.
We'll do the best
And
we
I'm not holding you to the 3 days. I'm just saying that this is a problem, needs to be addressed. And that's, I don't know who to bring it to, so I'm putting it right out here and, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you very much. All right. So, all right, folks, thank you very much, Jason. Let's see, Brenda, we'd like to move on to the warrants.
Oh,
So we have, I'll take those.
okay.
We have,
Yes, because 2 weeks ago, we were not able to do the warrants because I didn't have them in front of me. Penny was kind enough to give me 2 weeks ago, as well as this week. So I move that we pay the following warrants. This is week 3, 2022, for the sum of $6,162.52. Payroll week 3, 2722, for the sum of $5,891.59, and expense warrant number 2218 for the sum of $20,458.48.
is there a second to that?
Second.
Rusty, thank you. Rusty. Any discussion, select board? Okay. All right, all those in favor, let's see, Richard,
Aye.
Michael.
Aye.
Rusty.
Aye.
Miranda.
Aye.
Zon says aye. Thank you, then we have warrants for this time around.
Yes. Okay, I move that we pay the following warrants. Payroll week 4, 3/22, for the sum of $5,857.23. Payroll week 4, 10/22, for the sum of $5,988.25. And expense warrant number 2219, for the sum of $41,627.85.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right, Rusty again. All right, any discussion here at the select board? Okay, all right, I'll take a roll, thank you. Richard?
Aye.
All right. Michael?
Aye.
Aye. Rusty, aye. Miranda?
Aye.
And Zahn says aye. All right, thank you. Is there any other business to come before the select board this evening? All right. We would normally, then the next point in the agenda is about communications. I don't think we've received any that need to come before the select board. Those normally come via Peter. And so just so the community knows, I am at this moment receiving all of Peter's emails. So I'm beginning to witness the kind of email traffic. There's no communications that we need to take up this evening. I would, however, take just one moment to say that the communications portion of the agenda is a perfect time for any community member who wants to write to us, email or a letter, and those will get addressed during our select board meeting. So it's another way in which our community can be engaged with the select board here. And we welcome those communications. And sometimes they're delightfully wonderful. So thank you. I will not attempt, there were no actions from the previous meeting. I recall saying that there were no actions taken, except that we adjourned at the end. This evening's actions that we have taken are to, we certified the appointment of the Finance Advisory Committee. We appointed Zahn and Veranda to oversee the ARPA process. We approved the committee charge for the ARPA Advisory Committee. We approved the appointment of Kelsey Allan to the Recreation Commission. Congratulations. We approved a public hearing date of May 4th for the approved town plan. We approved the petition for reconsideration would come before the public again on May 24th for a new vote. And I think those are the actions, and we approved 2 warrants. I think those are the actions for this evening. There are no actions that I'm aware of that need to be taken going forward, so I think I could entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Thank you, Richard. Second, Rusty. Is there any communication from the community? Jamie.
I just want to say I'm so sorry to hear about Peter.
Oh, thank you.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
sort of heard like, oh, he was leaving or something, but.
Yeah. No, it's.
So he's not checking his email?
I don't know what he's doing as far as that's.
He's been hospitalized.
He's been hospitalized until yesterday, and so we'll see what happens next.
So if I send well wishes to his email number is on.
See, Aaron Kachuk, do you have a? Aaron?
Hey, Zahn.
Yeah, hi, Aaron.
Hi. I just was wondering if the community has any way that we could support Peter in this time. Is there any GoFundMe or have you heard of anything that is happening, or is there a way that you could let us know?
Sure, and I think, thank you, Aaron, that's a wonderful sentiment. I think I will say that it probably cannot be the select board that would set anything like that up. So if something like that were to rise up in the community, we would do whatever we could to support it and get word out. So please be in touch with me, anybody in the community, if that's something that appeals, if you want to move on that. I'm glad to be part of that process. I just don't think we can instigate it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right, so I'll take a vote to, so Richard.
Aye.
Aye. Adjourn. Michael.
Aye.
Rusty.
Aye.
Miranda.
Aye.
And Zahn says aye. Meeting adjourned, and thank you all.
Thank you.
For your incredible patience. Good work.